Hello, good morning, or good evening based on where you're located in the region. And thanks so much for joining today's webcast around Sage Data and Analytics hosted by Zap. My name is Ali Ortiz, and I am a Senior Channel Marketing Manager here at Sage. Just a few logistical items before we get started. The presentation will be around 35 minutes, so we will have time for questions at the end. So please enter those in the Q&A panel on your screen, and we'll make sure to go through those. The webcast will also be recorded, so we can distribute a recording and a PDF of the slides next week. With that said, I will go ahead and pass it over to Tony Van Heerden from Zap to kick off the presentation.
Good day. Thank you, Ali, for that. And thank you so much for joining us today. Excited to have an opportunity to talk to you about data management. And so just to have my camera on, to say a quick hello and an introduction there, and then I'll turn that off once we get started. But look, I've been with Zap for a few years now, looking after, sales in our regions as we expand this product into new places. Sage has been in my blood for many years. I implemented Sage products as a consultant, and I actually worked with Sage head office in the Sydney team. But look, today we're talking about some data management trends, and so we'll get started with those slides in a sec there. The 6 trends that we're going to be covering today here, as you can see up on screen, cloud-based data management, the rise of AI and machine learning, more focus on data privacy and security as that becomes very important these days, wider adoption of self-service analytics, we'll get into some detail there, more enforced governance, so policies, procedures, lots of frameworks coming out, and then quality, so a bit of focus on quality. We're also going to have some time for a quick demo today, so we'll make sure that we save some time in the end for that. This first trend that we're seeing happening, cloud-based data management, is a real thing. The benefits of cloud migration are becoming more and more popular with customers as you understand. Scalability is important, flexibility, being able to effectively manage your costs as options become available. So the capabilities of being in the cloud and running products in the cloud means that as customers, you can access your data from anywhere, anytime, and using any device. So those are words and phrases that everyone has come to being comfortable with these days. Some customers still run legacy and on-prem applications, but more and more everyone is more comfortable with running a cloud application. So the most important data management trend for software providers like ourselves is to keep pushing those cloud migrations, decreasing that reliance on premise data centers. Those servers that are sitting underneath people's desks and in old server rooms. We're seeing more and more of those coming out, and people replacing that with those cloud offerings. One thing we do need to keep an eye on is businesses that handle extremely sensitive data. Will they continue to put a faith in the cloud? As this question, causes that significant change in the cloud, there are definitely companies that hold some sensitive data that are very much still, not that open to making that cloud move. The next trend is about rise of AI and machine learning. Now, machine learning has been around for a while. It's definitely not a new topic. But it's now that we're really seeing its true potential come to front. It's not just about artificial intelligence, but rather how you can actually, have learnings from those own experiences. So you want to make predictions on their own using those technologies that are becoming available. This is one of the most important parts of data management, because it's essentially going to help us as users to process huge amounts of data in a short amount of time that normally would take users and spreadsheets way too much time to actually get through. So it uses this by grabbing algorithms that are set up to be training and recognizing patterns in our data. So we wanted to start making predictions that help us analyze those large sets of data. Gartner describes augmented analytics as the use of enabling technologies such as machine learning and AI to assist with data preparation, insight generation, and explanation. So normally, the data preparation is quite a headache. You have a certain skill set that needs to understand how to do that. And then you need someone else to come in and actually generate those insights from that data. And then explaining what's happening with the data. Now we're looking to some of these other technologies to help us with that. So imagine you are standing, it's mealtime, and you're standing in front of your actual kitchen pantry. You have all these ingredients at your disposal. You can make different combinations of meals with them, but which one is it that you're actually going to be choosing? There's certain preferences you might have. There's meals that you just don't like, and there's certain nonsensical food combinations. So wouldn't it be great if you actually just had an intelligent assistant right there next to you in your pantry, looking at the list of ingredients and suggesting some certain meals, and even giving you an explanation why it was suggesting those meals? Sure, you know, as a working mum, I would love to have this kind of assistance. Now we take that, concept, and we really want to apply that to your data. So what is interesting about your data? What combinations can be, created from the different data sets that you have? What is important in your data? And so this is where, augmented analytics will actually start to help. The third trend that we're seeing is about data privacy and security. So again, just some stats here. Third quarter of last financial year, internet users worldwide experienced about 15 million data breaches. So this number continues to rise. If you look at that, how that relates to just a daily average, it's about 160,000 breaches per day. Now, those are at all different scales of data breaches. Telcos, everybody's got data. And so what's happening is time to time, these breaches are happening. So they're more and more common than ever before, and then definitely not going to stop happening anytime soon. So organizations do need to heavily invest in security and make sure that you're staying ahead of the curve. How can you protect your data? When you've got customer-sensitive data, it's very important that you place high value on this and invest heavily to protect that data. It's going to actually harm customers' brand and jeopardize your ability to retain customers if you yourselves are exposing some of that data. That is certainly, definitely something to consider as a trend. The fourth one is about a wider adoption of self-service analytics. So the concept here is about everybody does feel more comfortable to actually, open up a BI tool and analyze the data themselves. So it's, what's happening is putting that tool into everyday desktop users' hands means that, the constant need to go to IT to actually unlock some of these requirements has gone away. And so IT still looks after the data management and some of the accessibility that we need. But at the end of the day, users want the tools in their hands. It's enabling customers to be more agile and analyze the data as they see fit. So the users that are in the business, in the warehouse, in the sales force, facing off against customers, they are wanting to have those tools that they can analyze and help understand what's happening. So it promotes agility in the business, collaboration. So the whole idea that data doesn't only exist for the IT teams to manage or finance teams, it's everybody in the business that can actually use the data. And so what that means is, decision making is coming down to all levels and enabling really a lot of collaboration across those different teams. So the data-driven organization can really take the self-service aspect and unlock their own potential there. So it really does mean that tools need to be able to cater for that. Just a graph here to show you those data silos. Everyone wants to put their data in their own hand. This is boosting efficiency. It means that decisions can be made quicker because everyone that's coalface is able to go in, grab the data they need to, and come back to the business and say, well, let's run this promo. I can see that our customers are interested in this. The marketing teams are getting the data that they need. It really does reduce costs. The fifth one is about enforcing data governance. So as we spoke about data security and all this accessibility that users want, with that, companies need to implement governance. And so you've got policies which are collections of frameworks programs that are designed to help structure how companies can process data, who's collecting data, how's it being stored, who's using it, what the quality of the data, etc. So it's very important that that these governance policies exist, where everyone understands what data management a trend is actually setting here. The high quality data, the up-to-date data is going to depend on some of the ability that a company has to govern that data. And so when you have applications that are consuming data, the governance model around which users can access financial data or the customer related data, sales data, is very important that sits on top of that. So you want a tool that's easy to maintain and easy to keep up to date, where this framework and the governance is actually going to be assisting in controlling the data, so that those self-service tools can be made available. Okay, so the sixth trend that we're going to talk about is data quality. So, just collecting data for the sake of having this data set and then, storing this data, analyzing it, the data needs to have that data quality layer. And so if your data that you're collecting is of poor quality, you're not going to make good business decisions with that. It's going to hinder your capacity to expand, maybe into a new market, to really understand your customers, to improve the strategies that you want to do. So investing in the right areas to make sure that your data quality is important. That is challenging. So when you start looking at your data, the first thing, because you're analyzing it, all those data quality issues become apparent. And you can see, where data is not consistency, where you don't have the full set of data. And so future data of future big data really depends on how you can maintain the quality. There's a few areas where you need to focus on when we talk about data quality. The first one is accuracy. And so, everyone thinks when you're looking at financials, those obviously have to be accurate. It's all data needs to be accurate. So when you're creating dashboards and reports, you've got slices and you've got filters. You need to understand what is actually being presented in the data that you're looking at. So have you excluded a big group of data? That means it's not entirely accurate what you're looking at. The whole view is not coming into play. Reliability. Is the data that you're analyzing reliable? So when you're looking at it month on month or week on week, every week's data needs to be coming in there as a complete set. It's reliable so that you can look at it consistently and start looking at those trends. The completeness is important. We talk about not just having financial data, the ability to connect and analyze your CRM data, your payroll data, maybe some data that's running in the warehouse. This provides you a complete set of data. And so that means you're not just looking at this one side of your customers, you're able to look at that 360-degree view of that customers. And so completeness in data really is very important. Relevance. So of course, when you're looking after a particular area of the business, whether you're in the manufacturing team, whether you're in the call center, when you're on sales, on the phones, if you're outward facing, every part of the business and the data you're looking at, it needs to be relevant to you. And so when you're analyzing this data quality, making sure that it's relevant for what you're actually trying to get out of it. Timeliness is always going to be important when we're talking about data. The ability to have all the data when you need it on hand, and not just posted and up to date in your systems. Your users have to get all of the data entered to make that possible, but it needs to be timely for when the business needs that change. So if you're looking to expand, if you're needing to make decisions for your next financial year, everything around data needs to be timely. So these are areas that you can focus on and define how your business, areas that maybe today where your quality of data is not consistent across all these areas, and how you can actually focus on improving in that. Okay, very good. So in a conclusion sense, just, what does this really mean for us? What's the trends that we've been talking about this morning? Business intelligence software companies continue to make significant investments in their technologies. And so more and more tools are coming out And ultimately, this will change the way that data is managed. Okay, large sets of data, how we can organize, secure, and lock away our data. The future of managing data is promising. So new technologies and trends continue to emerge, and this will keep, changing and transforming the industry in years to come. To handle data properly and get the most out of it, you need to invest in what we call your data journey. And so plotting out where you are today, in how you're managing data, in what data you have, and then where you want to go to in the future. So what other sources of data can you tap into? Really actively plan out your data journey. Working with partners like ourselves to investigate, implement data management and BI platforms. So really understanding what is out there for you to hold your data. What are the options? How do those data partners work with you as a customer to achieve this data journey? Sage Data Analytics, which is powered by Zap, is presented as a solution, and I'll show you today. We're bridging some of these gaps, these trends. We're going to help customers navigate these trends and ultimately grow and expand your data management maturity in the business. So we talk about, data governance and security around your data. And so partnering with a product like ours is going to help you in that journey, forward. Lovely. So just a few more slides, and then I'll jump into to actually show you some product. Zap has been around since 2001. We're a well-established company, and our product with Sage is white labeled, so that's why it's called Sage Data Analytics. But Zap is the company behind the delivery of that product. We have customers in over 45 countries, and we're global operations and local staff and partners. So we work with Sage partners in your channel very closely. They are the experts when it comes to Sage and how it's implemented in your business. But we partner with them as a data management and a BI team. As you can see on the left-hand side, we have a number of different Sage products that we have pre-built solutions for. And so we talk about, having a data model where we have organized all of the data from these applications into a data model and served a set of analytics on top of that. So we have solutions for Sage 100, Sage 300, X3. We've got Intact, Line 500, 1000 in the UK, Sage 500 in the US there, Sage X3 people and the Accountant Hub. So really do cater for a lot of pre-built solutions here. I've just included some nice snaps. We join and partner with Sage at their conferences. For us, it's all about talking data to me. And so we have these amazing shirts, which we brand. I love it when you talk data to me. And we really do, a well-loved partner alongside the Sage community. This slide talks about, Zap here as the right data platform, giving you the ability to connect your Sage data as your ERP product, and also allowing you to bring data to the Zap platform from other applications that you might be using. And so you've got a CRM system, you've got a payroll application, you've got something running maybe in your warehouse, a cloud application, all of these pockets of data that you can bring into the hub. Now, ultimately, why do you want to do that? And so that is to bring one place where you can access all of your data. You don't need to have a tool for each application that you're using then. And the ability as you're, migrating from a legacy ERP to a new cloud product, Zap can help you with that history that we're going to look after, from your ERP today and then your next gen cloud product perhaps in the future. We have our own BI tool, so that's called Zap BI. But we do know that today in the marketplace, customers have picked up Tableau or Power BI, and potentially you actually want to continue using those. And what you can do is plug Power BI into Zap Data Hub. So rather than having Power BI or Tableau directly accessing, your resources and your data sets that you've got today, and putting that load on that server and writing all those queries in Power BI, you can actually connect that to the data warehouse. And so what you're doing there is tapping into that pre-built model where we've organized all of the pipelines of data from those ERPs. And so today I'll give you a few, quick introductory into the Zap AI tool, show you what some of those dashboards look like. And it's very important that customers know if your preference is Power BI or Tableau, that those are still options with the Zap platform. I'm just going to swap over to my cloud instance now of our Sage Data Analytics product. So as you can see, it's standard with Sage because it's a white label product. So as a customer, you get access to your own URL. It's running in the browser. And so you can access your Zap system from anywhere where you can get your internet access there. Once you've been provisioned with your URL, the first step is to actually connect your data and process that model that I mentioned that you get with our solution. Now, once we've consumed your data into that model, you get a set of analytics as part of our solution. And so you can really, we'll have a look at these folders and the structure of how we deliver those preset analytics. So you get these individual folders, and within each one of them, there's a whole bunch of dashboards and pre-built statements and analytics that are wrapped up in there. And so there's obviously quite a lot in there. I'm going to pick and choose a few to show you that is how the pre-built analytics is actually created and served up to you. This first dashboard I opened up is called our CFO dashboard, designed for the finance team to know what's happening in that part of the business. And so you can see everything from the profit and loss through to the balance sheet that we're providing a health check on here. You've got net sales, gross margin, operating profit. These are actually little formulas, and they sit inside the model. And so as a business, you can create additional formulas, and it means that when you're using them across the team, that everyone is talking about your data in the same way. So there's nobody sitting off calculating profitability in a spreadsheet that nobody else has visibility on. How do they get those formulas and where are those numbers coming from? So that's the beauty of having some of this inside your model. So we're presenting these, a dashboard is a set of analytics, which is made up of what I call building blocks. And so what you get in our pre-built solution is that set of building blocks. Now you can go and, interrogate these as individual pieces, and, you can open up and analyze this, change the way you want to look at the data, change the chart, all of that. But it really means that what you're buying is not a tool that you then have to build everything from the ground up, this kind of blank sheet of paper, and then you spend all these hours designing what you want. You actually buy the tool, but you get all of these dashboards included, okay? So there's an expense management dashboard. Everyone needs to keep a close eye on the expenses. The ability to roll up your GL accounts into groupings that make sense. You've got month to date, quarter to date, previous quarter. The ability to have all of this data at your fingertips every time your data is refreshed is really valuable. So we talk about drill down ability when you're looking at some figures, or clicking on a number, wanting to be able to see where the detail came from. All of that is inherent in the software here. Yes, you can export these transactions off to Excel if you wanted to do that. All of that features is sitting here, but at the same time, you don't need to, because you've got your reports, your numbers right here. You can see where those GL transactions came from with that drill down ability. Okay, cash flow dashboard. We've got a nice statement of cash flow here that helps keep the health check going. What's happening around your operating activities, investing activities, financing activities, your cash and cash equivalents there, and you can continually see, month on month how your cash flow is tracking. We also have dashboards for every part of the business, and so I've just opened up a few today to give you that overview. So the dashboard designed for the inventory manager here is going to go and pick and choose a few great, inventory statistics. You can see here how many days of stock you're holding, what's your inventory to sales ratio looking like, opening balances, order rates, back orders, all of this. You've got 12 months here of stock on hand versus your sales, trend line. So it's really valuable for the inventory manager to have one snapshot of what's happening, on the business. Now, in the inventory folder, that is just, the dashboard. there is so many more in detail analytics just for that part of the business. So helping, your quantity on hand, your inventory, your turn ratios, looking at your trend, slow moving inventory, all of these different reports are sitting here and are going to help that inventory person. We also have an amazing sales manager dashboard. So the idea that you can analyze across, the countries you're selling into, the customers that are performing really well, who are your top 5 sales reps, the products, and then your returns. So the idea is that building block concept coming to light here. You've got 12 months of sales trend, so you're keeping a nice, good handle on what's your margin as your cost goes up. What's happening in your business with your sales coming down. We calculate this thing called a perfect order index. So we're actually analyzing in full deliveries and on-time deliveries. And so behind the scenes, the way that all of your Sage data is coming into this model makes that possible. And so that's how these dashboards have been packaged up for you. But there's obviously so many options and reports here. I don't want to, show too many of those today, but as you can see, these folders are full of analytics that are going to help you manage every part of the business. I'm going to just briefly talk about report packs. And so report packs are something that our customers really love, and we know that saves lots of time. So at the end of the day, preparing for board meetings and operational meetings are very important, and nobody has ever enough time for the prep. So they have to lock themselves away in a room and put do not disturb sign on and just kind of sit down and try and get everything ready for those meetings. So here you can see it's just a case of creating a report pack, dropping and dragging the set of reports that you want inside that pack. And you can see I've put in the CFO dashboard, some financial statements into this pack. But you can have a combination of maybe, next month you're going to have a focus on sales, and you can drop in 2 or 3 sales reports into that pack. You can run these on demand, or you can actually schedule them. So you can have them running, every 3rd working day of the new month, create this pack and email it to some people. You can, for every Monday morning sales meeting, you can have your pack sitting there ready to go. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's going to go grab all the fresh data, send everyone the sales data. So coming into that, 7 o'clock meeting that you're starting nice and early on a Monday morning, everyone's going to have the data on hand. You can see that pack's just, finished running. So it's really nice and quick. And it delivers, this PDF. Now, as a customer, you can load that first page with your own branding and your logo, and then it's going to put together a nice set of financial reports here. So ready to go, your board meeting can go ahead. Now you can actually spend your time analyzing the results and deciding what it is in the business that you need to change. What is the data telling you, rather than just spending all that time getting these reports together. You can see there's executive commentary, so there's a place to capture that commentary in our tool, again saving you some time and getting those those numbers populated from your data. So many different use cases for these report packs. They look really great, and they're going to help the business make those decisions much quicker. Lovely. So I'm just going to kick off to the presentation there, and the final slide before I'll hand back to Ali is just a summary here, what sets us apart from all of the other tools that you might come across. So we do believe that automated data management is the key. We spoke today about some of those trends in the market when it comes to data management, and certainly when you're trying to manually manipulate data, you're opening it up to security issues. You've got the governance that you need to concern yourself with. So having a tool that's going to automate how you manage data is critical. It's quicker to collect, integrate, secure, and prepare the data. So you can spend your time analyzing where the business needs to go. Delivering out-of-the-box calculations that can be reused is really central to our system. So I showed you a few of those formulas, making sure that that value is part of that package. Because we run in the cloud, you can be up and running really quickly. And so, while we still offer some on-prem applications, we spoke today about that migration to the cloud, it's happening, and people are comfortable. We run in Microsoft Azure. It's secure. The teams manage the data in the way that it connects up into the cloud there. So it really does mean you can take that step to get into a cloud product here with your data management. Providing you up-to-date data whenever you need it is very important. And do you have options here? We spoke about, connecting your finance data from your sales of your Sage application, but you can also connect CRM and payroll data. So every piece of that data that you're pulling into Zap, you can actually control how often it is being refreshed and how up-to-date that data is. And then the last point there is about integrating, something like Power BI, or you can use that Zap BI tool. So that's a wrap for me today. Thank you so much for your time, for joining this webinar, and I'll hand back to Ali.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. So we're just going to run a quick poll question. So if everybody could take a minute or so to answer the poll, I'm going to go ahead and launch it now. Would you be interested in a personalized SDNA product demo for your organization? Yes, in the next 1 to 3 months. Maybe, but need more information first, or not at this time. So I will leave this up for a few more seconds. And if you could take just a minute to answer it, that would be fabulous. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you for everybody who participated. And then let's see here. So it actually looks like, Tony, we don't have any questions today for you. So you're very thorough, it seems.
Excellent. No worries. Thank you. Obviously, the option is available. Anybody can email me if there's any questions that pop up at any time.
Fabulous. Well, that will conclude our webcast for today. Tony, thank you so much for walking us through the presentation and demonstration. And to everyone else, thanks so much for joining, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.